I'm Ashton Addison from Blockwest Capital for Investment Pitch Media, and today on the Crypto Coin Show we have Oliver La Rosa, founder and CEO of Globiance Pay. Oliver, welcome back to the show. It is great to see you again.
Hi, thanks for having me again.
You're very welcome. For those viewers who didn't see our last interview, last month or so we dived into Globiance, the exchange, and I know you also have a big payment infrastructure, and there's tons of products that you guys actually have in the market right now. I would love for you to just start re-kicking off the discussion with a high level of what is Globiance and the Globiance Pay part of it as well, and then we can dive more into the payment solutions.
Okay, as we already introduced last time, Globiance is a group of licensed crypto exchanges which is already expanded in all the continents worldwide. And now Globiance Pay, which we are presenting today, is our second brand. It's our fiat brand, basically the banking brand, which is powering Globiance, but also other exchanges and other companies. So when we started with Globiance in 2018, we realized that actually what is very much needed are banks that are supporting the transition, because the fusion of crypto exchange and bank, like we wanted to build it, was at this time very special. And it was difficult to find banking partners that support that goal. So along the way, we made our own plans to build a bank in the background. And since 2020, we have our first financial institution licensed in Europe. And in the meantime, we also got licensed in North America and South America. And basically, this is the banking brand where we're expanding now.
Very cool. And with Globiance Pay, I'm sure there's many different kinds of customers that could use this. Is this for, off-ramps and on-ramps on the exchange, for stores, for customers? How exactly, what exactly are the main use cases?
Yes. So we are offering the traditional things like accounts, cards, but we also have a POS system, a QR POS system, and also a crypto payment gateway, which can be installed, for example, by online businesses, so they can accept cryptos easily on their system. So let's say, for example, for a Forex platform or for an online casino, for an e-commerce store or for a service company, whatever type of company you have and you want to accept payments in the future, you just need to integrate our widget or our API. You can build your own widget and you can accept payments right away, and they will land in your merchant account, in your Globiance business account. That means you can use it there in crypto, you can convert it directly to fiat, you can withdraw it in fiat, you can store it, hold it, make your payments or whatever you want to do.
Very cool. So say, for example, I had an online store that I built on my own site and I wanted to start accepting crypto. What process would I have to go through to make that happen? Okay,
so first you have to sign up, do KYC. That means the usual procedure. You just show your passport, you do a small selfie photo, your ID will be directly ran through our AML background check. If everything is all right, within 3 minutes, your account is already approved. Then you need to do a KYB upgrade on your accounts. That means know your business. So we need to get your business data on top. Our compliance department will most likely write you an email, request some documents about your company. And once that is done, you can already request the merchant tools, and then you can use the QR, POS, you can use the crypto payment gateway or other business functions that we will have in the future.
Sounds easy enough. And with the POS, I can imagine online sales, it's as simple as checking out as you would on Amazon or something. But for in-person or for brick and mortar businesses, how exactly does that work with the POS or with your phone?
So yeah, with the app that we have already, you can first of all create as a merchant QR codes that the users can pay. So for example, if you have a brick and mortar store and you want to sell something, I don't know, bread, for example, then you can just create the QR code for that, put your price, select what currency you want to receive, and clients can scan it with the Globiance app and can pay you right away. And again, the money will end up on your Globiance account, and you can keep it there, send it away, or whatever you want to do.
Mm-hmm. So for those businesses that aren't traders, I'm guessing they could accept stablecoins, but also if they accepted some kind of cryptocurrencies that were volatile, like Bitcoin or something, you'd be able to sort of settle that very quickly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So basically, the merchant can select what currency he wants to receive, and the client will pay with whatever he has to pay with or what he wants to pay with. So you can, for example, as a merchant, say, I want to receive Bitcoin, but if I only have Euro or our Euro G stablecoin, then I can select this and it will be automatically converted and paid to the merchant.
Okay, that's awesome. And you can also tie it into your Globiance account where you could potentially start using that on the exchange as well.
Yes, right. Your Globiance account is always connected with the exchange. So you can also do crypto withdrawals, you can exchange it, you can trade, whatever you would like to do.
Mm-hmm. And you mentioned at the beginning that you already got some licenses in Europe for using the terminal and for businesses. Is there any jurisdictions that aren't allowed to use it, or is it sort of set up globally?
So for the moment, we have licenses in 3 continents. We are in North and South America and also licensed in Europe. And at the moment, we're working our expansion for another 3 continents. And by end of the year, we should be able to serve 6 different continents already. And we have more licenses coming next year.
Wow, very cool. And, there's been a lot of payment companies, even Coinbase and a lot of these guys it's awesome because it's a healthy competition and it's making it easier for businesses to start taking crypto. But how do you compete? What are the competitive advantages and the unique selling propositions that a payments company like Globiance Pay has to have to make brick and mortar stores want to use them over other payment solutions?
Yes, so what we have is basically payments company which is built on blockchain. So you have a lot of payment companies already, but they're mostly focused on fiat payments today. Then you have crypto exchanges, but they're not focused on payments and they usually don't have payment licenses. So Globiance Pay is a combination of the fiat licenses which we have in Globiance Pay, and then we have the crypto part in Globiance, the crypto exchange. And so far, I think there are very few companies which really have the, let's say, worldwide vision that we have, especially or to reach the unbanked and underbanked countries. That's a very big focus of us. And today there are not too many companies which think on this worldwide scale and want to offer the same services based on blockchain. Of course, you have a lot of traditional banks that already serve all regions worldwide, but they are not based on blockchain services. So the advantage that we have here are settlement systems which are just faster. So you can do crypto settlements which take just 1 to 2 seconds compared to the traditional fiat systems which take a lot longer, sometimes days.
Very true. And I like that you guys are focused on the underbanked and these other places that are outside of America or the European system where everyone's already banked and they already have the traditional infrastructure. I feel like that's really where crypto is going to come up and take advantage. Is you're really skipping all of that brick and mortar infrastructure that's slow and clunky that's been around for decades to something like Globiance Pay that's just like instant settlement, very quick. And you can just have, even if you're in an underdeveloped country, you just have your mobile phone, 2 phones, and all of a sudden you're doing business.
Yeah, exactly. So you skip a lot of infrastructure. You're right. So you don't need the POS terminals anymore, and you most likely don't need a bank card anymore because you can just handle all your businesses from wallet to wallet. And if you really need the fiat connection, we still have it. So if you need to do payments, we have the license in place with Globiance Pay so that you can execute your fiat payments, even if you don't have an own account.
I want to dive a little bit more into the blockchain payments and then the traditional payments after that as well. You mentioned having it built on blockchain. I was researching through Globiance, and I saw that it's connected into the XDC network. Can you talk about that blockchain, why you guys are using it, and a little bit about the advantages?
Yeah, so XDC are partners of ours since 2018. We have built our first exchange together, and we have seen them growing. At the same time, we were growing our exchange and banking platform. They have grown the network. And I think today, even if XDC is not one of the most known networks worldwide, I believe personally that is one of the best out there, and maybe the best. 1 to 2 seconds settlement times, ultra low fees. So, for example, today you're paying like 0.0001 cent for a transaction on the XDC network. So that's the lowest cost network that I know. And it's also fully decentralized. So when you compare it to other ISO 222 compatible blockchains out there, you have the advantage that it's actually a system which is created with nodes that are staked by users. So there's not the power in one company or in one central, let's say, in one country or in one company in the hands of a single party which can just destroy the network or do whatever it pleases to. So
yeah,
I believe it's very important, especially today, that you have a decentralized system which is not breakable and independent. And that's what we base our blockchain platform on ourselves.
It's a great point, Oliver. And it's hard to tell sometimes with these blockchains just how decentralized they are. And some of them are more catered towards specific services or specific functions, rather than trying to be everything to everyone. Usually it becomes slow and clunky. And, I've heard of the XDC network, but it's not as popular with, traditional crypto people that are just in trading on Ethereum and things like that. But
Yeah,
it does sound like it's optimal for Globiance Pay and for the exchange.
Yeah, and it's also developing. So if you follow a little bit the news, you will hear XDC more and more. And there are a lot of good news, especially in the trade finance sector, also in the UK. There were news that is going to be used on a large scale. So I think you can expect a lot from the network. If you don't have XDC yet, that's also always a good buy to have.
I'm going to look into that. And you mentioned there as well about it being a ISO 222 compatible blockchain. What does that mean?
Yeah, so basically to use stablecoins like ours, for example, on such settlement systems like the one that we are developing, you need the possibility to send ISO 222 compatible messages. So basically, ISO 222 is the new protocol which is used between banks and financial institutions to send the messages and the settlements. And you need stablecoins like ours to be based on the same, so that you can use them for the settlements. We also build our own software.
Okay, that's good to know. And is there a stable, like it's a Globiance Pay stablecoin, or what exactly are the stablecoins that you're talking about?
Yeah, so we have, as we don't trust too much in other stablecoins, we have just developed the ones that we trust fully ourselves in, and which are also always redeemable one-to-one on all Globiance platforms. So if you have USDG, EuroG, Singapore Dollar G, so SGDG, and all the other stablecoins, we have now 10 of them in major currencies, you can always bring them to a Globiance platform, and you can redeem them one-to-one and can just pay them out in fiat. And I think this is worldwide the only stablecoin that is based on a platform where you can always redeem it one-to-one. Because if you have other stablecoins, you can trade them on exchanges and on a lot of exchanges, more than we have. But the problem is that there can be also a depegging happening. So if there are any rumors about a stablecoin like it happened in the past, then the price of the stablecoin can just drop and you have to sell it, for example, for a lower price. It can never happen with Globiance stablecoins. If you would ever get a Globiance stablecoin on another exchange for a lower price, you can just buy it, bring it to a Globiance exchange, and redeem it for the full price again. So basically, it's a fail-safe system to hold Globiance stablecoin compared to the other stablecoins out there.
Okay, that's great to know. And does Globiance have to store one-to-one, like a reserves of the stablecoin, or in one currency and then they're switched, or how does that work?
Yeah, actually we do. We do store one-to-one in a currency. And if we have to switch, so for example, if you use our quick swap to transfer from a USDG stablecoin to a EURG stablecoin, in the background, we also do a transaction where we sell off the US dollar against euro so that we have the right collateral on our bank accounts as well.
Oh, that's really good to know. Awesome. And I was also looking into GBPay as a security token. How is that involved in the payments in the exchange?
Yeah, so we are at the moment expanding, as I already mentioned, Globiance Pay into a global bank. And we're also collecting more funds for it. And we issued a security token called GBPay. We're issuing 100 million of these tokens, which are available from $1. And there are some bonuses which are still ongoing during the sales period. And if you hold a GBPay token, you will get a revenue share from the global Globiance Pay business. That means one time you buy this coin, and forever you will be a shareholder of the whole group worldwide.
That's awesome, because I feel like security tokens have been a long time coming. I remember 2018 was supposed to be the year that security tokens were supposed to take off, and for one reason or another, the infrastructure had to catch up. And I think security tokens being more a part of traditional infrastructure, it took a little bit longer. But now, many years later, we're seeing it come to fruition, and it actually allows people that are, traditional investors or want to actually have a part of the company to have that revenue share. And I've seen this kind of business where you can actually get quite a lot of earnings and have quite a bit of share by owning the security tokens. Can you talk a little bit more about that revenue share and exactly how that works?
Yes. So we are providing a 7.5% revenue share of the global Globiance Pay business to the 100 million token holders. Wow. That means depending on how many of the tokens you hold, you get your share of the 7.5%. Now, if we give a revenue share, basically there are three ways how you could profit. First, we could pay you a dividend, like traditional stocks of banks do it. Then you get a certain amount, which is most likely relatively small. The second way would be, as a shareholder of a company, you could get a profit share. But then is the problem that you already paid all the operational expenses and you don't know really what is really left after all these expenses are being paid. Maybe there's no profit left to share. And I think we choose the most fair way. We are giving a 7.5% revenue share to the token holders. And this is pure revenue that is incoming. We just deduct the most direct costs. So, for example, if our revenue comes in, the fees that we receive, just the direct fees that the bank, for example, takes off for the transaction itself will be deducted. That could be less than 1% of this revenue. And the rest will be spread amongst the shareholders and the token holders.
Wow.
I think this is a quite fair approach that we have. And when you compare it to traditional stocks of banks that you already have, you will see that there's a lot more that you would get in terms of dividends or revenue share yearly from our project compared to the established banks out there.
Wow. That's really good to hear, because it's always nicer to know that you're getting something off of the top line rather than the bottom line, when a lot of these companies, especially the ones that are in growth mode, usually are in negative profits.
Yes, exactly. So for us, it is very important that in our campaign now in the fundraising, we already collect the funds to be able to sustain the business for the first 5 years. So operational costs are already included in the fundraise. That means that whatever revenue the business will make already after the first year will also be distributed to the token holders. So you don't have to wait like with a traditional financial project until it reaches profitability. But with us, you just have to wait until the first revenue comes in. And from the revenue you will directly get your revenue share. So of course, we will not be on the level of Citibank on year one, but we're working on it.
Yeah, definitely. Well, I've seen a lot of these crypto exchanges, even the ones that I thought had low volume, were driving a lot of revenue. So I'm definitely going to look into it more. And is there any other functions? You know, the security tokens, they offer this kind of ownership. Are there any other features and functions of the GBPay token besides the revenue model that you're talking about that I should know about?
Mm-hmm. So besides the revenue share, the token can also be converted to equity at a later stage. So if you want the traditional equity, you can just convert the token later. Well, there's some conditions. So you have to run through an extended background check, of course, if you want to be in the list of the shareholders, but it's possible to convert if you want it. That's one thing. And then also all the token holders are being invited to strategy meetings. That means we are listening to all the voices and we also discuss our strategy. So if, for example, in a region, we have different countries that we could expand to, then we would put it up for vote under our token holders to see if now maybe Malaysia, Indonesia, or Sri Lanka is the next place where we should get our license. So actually, yeah, you're really becoming a partner in the business, and you do your voice counts.
Very interesting. And you mentioned that you're doing the fundraising. How exactly is that being done, and how can people get involved?
So we have a launchpad, which is available under se.globiance.com. When you go to the launchpad S, then you can buy the GBPay tokens just on the platform. It is also available through normal Globiance platforms. If you just click on launchpad S, it will take you there. So it's quite easy. The same like you buy the ICO tokens on other launchpads, you can buy the GBPay tokens on the launchpad S as well. And you will also, as a GBPay token holder, always receive the lowest possible fees for banking. You will have lower fees to load your cards, so the debit cards that we have as well, and also for the usage of the system. If you're a merchant and you're holding more tokens, you can further reduce the fees up to 50%, depending on how many of the GBPay tokens you hold.
Very interesting. And besides the GBPay token and the expansion, is there anything else on the roadmap and for the growth of Globiance Pay and Globiance that you wanted to mention?
Yeah, so the biggest points on our roadmap are actually licenses, because for our business it's extremely important to have payment license in all the continents. So for this year, we will be on 3 continents more, and we will be expanding in more and more countries throughout the next year. And that's one major step for us to expand in the first stage. And then we have, as I said, an own software for the ISO 222 messaging. It's a global blockchain-rooted ISO 222 conveyance system, which is designed as an improvement for SWIFT, which has instant settlements and is using our own stablecoins for the direct settlements, as I said before. So we will not build the same type of system where we can just send messages across. But for us, we are focusing on the direct settlements so that central banks, or also enterprises directly that are connected with our system can do their settlements 24 hours a day, 365 days without any interruption. And because it's blockchain based, it's also independent and you can use it at any time. And you don't need like a bank to be open, for example, from 9 to 5 and you need to wait until business hours or something.
Yeah, I hope banking hours become a thing of the past.
A big relief for everyone.
Definitely. That's awesome. Well, thank you so much for all these updates. Oliver, I can leave the links in the notes to Globiance site, Globiance Pay information, and the launchpad that you mentioned for the GBPay token. I really appreciate you coming on and also just helping the banking sector move into the future. I think it's about time. And so all the best with everything moving forward on Globiance Pay and with the launchpad and the token moving forward. And let's definitely follow up in the near future.
Okay. Thank you for listening.
Thank you.